So yesterday, I'm sitting in bed and I'm about to go to sleep, and I do one last quick scroll through Twitter, and I see an all-caps Rampage being done by the President of the United States. Whenever I see all caps and it's Trump, my gut reaction is, fuck, something bad's happening. So I saw all caps, scared out of my mind, and he said the following: to Iranian President Hassan Rouhani, never ever threaten the United States again, or you will suffer consequences the likes of which few throughout history have ever suffered before. We are no longer a country that will stand for your demented words of violence and death. Be cautious. Oh boy. Oh boy. So he's replying to a story that some outlets covered yesterday. And he probably only read the headlines because he's an idiot. But the story said that Hassan Rouhani made some comments, something along the lines of, war with Iran would be the mother of all wars. So, you know, the U.S. should not be provoking us and should not be trying to go after us with policies. But he also said, peace with Iran is the mother of all peace. And basically, I hope we can have peace instead of war. Now, again, if you're Donald Trump and you're a dumbass and you have the attention span of a gnat, you read the headlines and you're like, oh, he said that war with Iran is the mother of all wars. He wants war with the United States. Oh my God. All caps Rampage. But again, that wasn't the case. If you read the full context, what he's saying is just a very straightforward statement. And in fact, it's pretty reasonable. He's like, look, if you want war with us is the mother of all wars. You don't want that. But if you want peace, yeah, let's do peace. And peace with us is the mother of all peace. We could be great trade partners or whatever. So this response is, I mean, this is completely unhinged. That's completely unhinged. Now, remember, we're talking about an administration that just ripped up the Iran nuclear agreement. And in reality, what that was a peace deal. And according to the International Atomic Energy Agency, the IAEA, Iran, it was verified that they were following the deal to the letter 11 times. So the whole point of the deal was you guys never get, nuclear weapons, and in response to that, we give you back your own money that we stole from you, and you let the IAEA in there to verify all this. So they were following the agreement. Now, the U.S. had already violated the agreement by doing sanctions on them through Congress. Now, the dodge that they use as well, it was just symbolic sanctions, so we didn't really violate the terms of the deal. I mean, that makes it even dumber in my opinion because, you're going to symbolically violate the deal and then that leads to the collapse of the deal, then you're at fucking fault. And this is something the media will never tell you. Mainstream media will never tell you it's the United States' fault and we violated the deal first. And so then Trump pulls out of the deal. So they abide by the deal. We stab them in the back. We regularly, repeatedly threaten them. They make a statement that's actually not at all controversial about the war with us is the mother of all wars, peace with us is the mother of all peace. And Donald Trump, goes on Twitter to do an all-caps threat fest. I mean, to say you will suffer the consequences the likes of which few throughout history have ever suffered before. Pipe down, fuckface. It reminds me, this is so selfish. Regular people are just out there trying to make a living and pay for food and take their kids to school and whatever, go to a movie every now and then. And then the fucking people who are going to lead us are going to make belligerent, arrogant, militaristic threats to a country which, by the way, has a military budget that's less than 5% of our military budget? They're nothing. They're a tiny, tiny country. The idea that they would actively do an offensive war against us, I mean, how ridiculous, how dumb do you have to be to believe that? You have to have bought the propaganda from the State Department hook, line, and sinker to view, the U.S. is the victim and, my big bad Iran is coming after us. Oh, my God. Not true. Not true. But our dumbass leaders, this guy is threatening world leaders like it's nothing. Then, by the way, there's also another tweet of his from 2013, which is quite eye-opening, where he says, I predict Obama will start a war with Iran to distract from, whatever the fuck was going on in 2013, whatever scandals or non-scandals that they thought were scandals was happening with Obama. Trump said, Obama might go to war with Iran to deflect from the other stuff that's happening in the administration. And then Donald Trump, his poll numbers are in the tank. Actually, they're under 50%. They're not horrendous, but they're certainly not good. And there's all this media pressure on him. And boom, we come out with a threat against Iran. And it's, could be a deflection where it's like, hey, look at this. So it's just, God damn it, he did this same shit with North Korea. Now, thankfully, with North Korea, it ended up not being the worst case scenario because at least we have an open dialogue with them. And, people on the left are criticizing him for how he handled North Korea. I'm not in that group. My whole thing is as long as we don't have a hot war, okay, I'll take it. So it ended up working out okay on that front. But the thing is, if they're working towards a deal in North Korea, okay, but they actively ripped up the deal we already had with Iran, which is terrible, which is not a good thing, which is the opposite direction. So just stop. This is fucking stupid, man. I mean, it's really fucking stupid. I can't stand, having to keep your eye on the president like he's a toddler. Because that's what this is. I mean, listen, if you want to throw one word out there in all caps, okay, I think we're all guilty of that one. But if you want to do the whole fucking statement in all caps, you look like a middle schooler, dude. So and then the response from the media has driven me nuts to this. Even people I respect have, they take this statement and they go, oh, why didn't you respond like this when it was Russia? Oh, God, no, stop. Oh, my God. How can you say something so stupid? This is exactly what I've been warning about from day one, is that as a result of the Russia hysteria, now the conventional wisdom is you should be more hawkish with Russia. You're going to be really belligerent and arrogant and threatening of Iran, but you're not going to be belligerent and arrogant and threatening of Russia? Huh. You should really be like that with Russia. No, not at all. The opposite. The opposite with both of those. Opposite with Iran, opposite with, Russia, opposite with North Korea. I don't want that. I want no belligerence, no arrogance, and no threats. You can't say at the same time Donald Trump is a lunatic, he's a thin-skinned buffoon, and he shouldn't have his finger on the red button, and then also say simultaneously, God damn it, why aren't you being hawkish enough and belligerent enough and arrogant enough and threatening enough against all these countries, including Russia? Because that makes no sense. That means Trump broke your brain and you're just flinging mud against the wall and hoping it sticks, and you're not being coherent in your response to him. As long as I can critique him, I'm going to critique him. It doesn't matter if it's from the left or the right and those things are contradictory. That's what I'm going to do. Well, then you look like a dumbass. So it drives me fucking nuts what I've been seeing, man. Here you have a real goddamn scandal. This is a super big scandal. This is the president of the United States openly threatening other world leaders in all caps on Twitter. Who knows what kind of international incident can be sparked as a result of this idiot? And the media always finds, instead of talking about the thing that's plain-faced and right in front of you, oh my God, this is nuts, and this is threatening, and this could lead to some sort of disaster. Instead of arguing like that, they trot out their other pet issues and do mental gymnastics to try to make it fit into the narrative. Oh yeah, you should be like that with Russia too. No, you shouldn't. No, you shouldn't at all. Oh God, we're so fucked. I think I'm becoming more and more pessimistic as time goes by. Because at least under Bush, for example, a lot of the anger and resentment and counter-arguments made against Bush, I remember it. It struck me as, oh, you got people like Keith Olbermann, who, by the way, now has shown that he's deranged beyond all belief. He was screaming every night about, oh my God, we're in a war against a country that didn't attack us. We shouldn't do that. Even the Democrats at the time, Nancy Pelosi and others, they were leading a charge against the Iraq war. And I was like, oh, the Democrats seem to be making sense. This makes sense. They're railing against war because we shouldn't be in this war. Yes, that's good. Under Trump, it's we still have those same wars going on, and then some. Iraq, Afghanistan, still there. Now we added Syria to boot, and we're bombing 8 different countries. Drone strikes increased 432%. Instead of these same people going after that and saying, whoa, no, the wars, they're still going on. We got to get out of this. We got to get out of this. It's this new, weird, right-wing attack about how he's a puppet of Russia and he's a puppet of Russia and he should be standoffish to prove he's not a puppet of Russia. Where they look at a tweet where he's openly threatening world leaders and they're like, you should do that with this other country too. It's like we live in the Twilight Zone. That's how I feel.